stacked up in layers and different color orbs. But the entire facade of the face of the moon, let's say, what it looks like, is all just a play on the light and shadows. It's not real. It's an illusion and a holographic image that's being projected not from outside, but from inside the hologram. And that's why it glows so much. No outside light could make it glow this much, only internal light. And that's an important fact to remember, that no outside light could make this glow like that and have that energy field around it. That looks just like the roof I filmed the other day, the energy field around that. And every cluster I film on the trees that glows in a plasma state has a red energy field like that, and that's an electromagnetic energy field. Okay, that's holding the whole entire moon holographic image in place. All those orbs being held together by an electromagnetic field. And it's in a sense a force field, but a force field to keep them in, not out, just to keep them together. And that's how they have so many of them in one place and able to construct a large image the size of a moon just by joining up clusters together and using an electromagnetic field to hold them all in place in whatever image they want to display. So the moon is held together by clusters joining together, and the way they join together is they use tetrahedron energy bonds, and the energy bonds are also electromagnetic energy, and they lock up together, and the clusters are not round, they are hexahedron in shape. All those orbs, they only appear round because you see the ones that are going around the nucleus of a cluster go around it, around the 6 points of a hexagon, but on all different sides, 3 sides, and that creates an illusion of a sphere. But the thing is really hexahedrons, all of them locked up together with tetrahedron energy bonds, and that is the strongest way to bond things in our universe. Those are the strongest possible bonds, and they use them. But the entire collective image of the moon hologram is held together with an electromagnetic energy field, which is actually a force field forcing the orbs into a sphere shape to look like our moon. And our moon is gone bye-bye, and it's never gonna come back because no one can make it once it's gone. And you can clearly see the orbs. Too bad they put on such a strong light. Now that I have a camera that could really examine them up close, they increase the light so that if I even get close like that, it's too bright. But as you can see, this camera does not have glare, lens glare or anything. It's a good camera. It doesn't do those things. It's a very nice little special camera. It's only like 5 inches long, but it can do great things. You could just see the orbs. I gotta go somewhere where you could actually see the orbs, where it's not too bright. Let's see over here. Okay, look at that force field in motion all around the edge, the red glow. That's also created by orbs. They go right around the image and create that electromagnetic energy, and they go so fast that you can't see them. They go too fast for the eye to see, but that's what it looks like. That's a few layers or a few hundreds of layers of orbs going around the entire spherical surface very, very fast, and they're charging the whole zone around the edges into an electromagnetic field, and that acts as a force field to hold all the rest of them in a sphere, and that's their ship. The whole thing is alive. It's not made out of metal or anything else. It's made out of orbs, and orbs are capable of changing themselves into any kind of a material state because they control energy, and they can change their size and shape and composition in a blink of an eye. They can turn that whole thing into metal in no time at all, if that's what they want to do. There you can see the layers of orbs. You can see the yellow layer and you can see the red layer, and those are one on top of the other, the red layer being on the outside and the yellow layer is on the inside. And then in the very center you have the plasma, and the whole thing is very bright. The entire surface is a plasma state, and that's how they create the light, by glowing from the inside out. Okay. Let's see which way it moves now. Okay, now it's moving towards the top. Before the last time it was moving to the right. So the top here would be south, the right side would be west, the left side is east, and the bottom would be north. So now it's moving south, and it's really not moving west. It should be moving only west. Because in a short time it shouldn't be going right across the sky. But sometimes it goes in jerks and moves a whole lot, and at other times it just sort of stays in place or moves very slowly. So I'm gonna get it back in the middle to double check that. Let's see which way it's gonna move. Okay. Notice the movement is jerky, back and forth. When you get close to it, you can tell that it's hovering, and it's not steady motion. And look, it's going back the other way. Then it corrects itself and goes the right way, which would be west, to the right. There, now it's going to go to the right, and look at how fast it goes. First it stays in one spot, then it jerks around, then it goes backwards, and then it goes in the right direction, but fast. So the whole thing is hovering. It's in our atmosphere, If it was out in space, it wouldn't be having this trouble. It would stay in place because there's no gravity there to affect it. And this clearly shows that it's affected by the gravity and that it's fighting gravity to be in the location and position it wants to be in at a specific time. Look, it's going backwards. So look at that. That's a big jump. Look, look. Whoa. I'm not touching the camera. That's just that thing going back and forth. So ladies and gentlemen, that's your moon. The only one you have right now. The real one is gone for good. And it's not going to come back. And this thing, I don't like it over my head. And I don't like all those orbs over my head and all over in the air that I'm breathing them. Look at the air, it's just full of them. That's all in our atmosphere, all those little things that look like little specks flying around. That's all in our atmosphere. I'm going to move the camera stand, the whole thing, since the thing is moved out of position. Okay. Okay, so I have to move the camera over. Maybe I'll get a better angle and not so much light. No, it's still real bright. Now it's even brighter. I was better off over there. Okay, it all depends where you shoot it from exactly. Like this side is even brighter, but the whole thing has gotten brighter. That's why this side is brighter. I have to back off. It's getting even brighter. It's getting harder and harder to get anything on the surface. The whole thing is just increasing in brightness by the minute. A lot of orbs all over inside of that thing, inside the hologram. There's just zillions and zillions. And these things are energy entities. They're all energy. So when you put all of that together like that, that whole thing, that's a whole lot of energy right over our head. Let's hope it doesn't crash. You could really see the movement when you get close to it. Look at the jerking. That's not natural, that's for sure. They're using some form or sort of energy as thrusters and moving it back and forth and making sure they're holding a hover position and slowly moving it where our real moon used to be or should have been, but they're not in sync. The moon never shows up like it used to. It glows very bright now. The way you see it, you can't see anything. Look how bright that is. And the whole thing about it is it's not our moon. And no matter how hard they try to pretend that it's our moon. The moon is not there, it's gone, and this is not going to take its place. Look at how bright it is. Look at how bright they intensified the light. And look at the way it's moving left and right and all over. Our moon never used to do that. I've taken enough video of the moon to last me a lifetime, and I've never seen the moon, the real thing, do that. Go back and forth like that and jerk around. So I myself am sure that that's a orbiting satellite, and most of the time it's in our atmosphere. It's in high atmosphere, even though it's orbiting. I see clouds behind it, so I'm going to take my other camera and take some still photos pretty soon, just to show that there is clouds behind it. I see lots of clouds behind it, but let me back off, see if that'll show up in the camera. No, it's too bright. I'll have to figure a way. It's so bright you can't see anything behind it. Whoa. Okay, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. When it powers up enough where it's a hexahedron and shows its true colors. That's really what it looks like. The other thing is I was gonna say hallucination, but it's an illusion, not a hallucination. But if you think that you're seeing the moon, look twice. This is really what it looks like. There it is. Okay, so that's a ship, and it's not the moon. So I'm gonna have to back off and try that again. It's so bright. It's like a sun, not the moon. Oh, did you see that one just zoom by? Went from bottom to the top left-hand corner real fast. Like faster than a bullet. That's how fast these orbs can go. Faster than bullets. There are no bullets that can go as fast as they can. Alright, see the top portion here. That interests me. It's so bright. Okay, those orbs, they're in a hover. They're not on anything. They're in a hover. And you can see that there's structure there underneath the orbs, but they're in a hover. And the reason they're having it so bright, look how bright it is. It's like pretty soon it'll be daylight over here. That's because they know people have cameras and they don't want us to see anything. This part right here, it's too bright to see there. Okay, you can see the structures right there, and that not everything is a sphere, but there's a lot of spheres and they're used to compose the other structures, or to create, I should say, the other structures. And all those orbs, they're white, they're hovering. So it's 55 minutes and 40 seconds already on this video. I'm going to cut it off at 1 hour because I have the battery all charged up. I charged it up for like 24 hours, so it'll probably give me more than 1 hour of power, but I'm going to cut it off at 1 hour, and then I think I'll make a couple of parts, because I don't think anyone wants to sit through the whole thing. Anyway, that's an interesting structure there, and you can see the orbs along the bottom on both sides and in the front. Just want to show that structure, let it come up. Now back off. Get a better view of the whole thing. Maybe a little closer. Move it down a little bit. See, now it's going towards the left and jerking around, and before it was going towards the right. So it's hard to say at any point which way it's gonna go, because it's hovering and it's holding position, and then when it messes up and it's not at the right location, it speeds up a little bit and has jerky movement to catch up to where it's supposed to be, to be authentic representation of the moon, what it used to be. But this is just a large satellite, and it's not natural. It's not a natural satellite. This is it's not a man-made satellite, but nonetheless somebody made it. It's not a natural satellite. So I'm at 58.5 minutes. At 60 minutes I'm going to cut it off so that I can make it and upload it, so that it's not going to take me all night. So what I think it is a orb ship, and it's a hologram as well, three-dimensional, and light is produced from within, inside of the hologram, projected outward, and the orbs are able to increase the light intensity or decrease the light intensity, or even change the color of the hologram. Sometimes it looks red, sometimes yellow, sometimes white, like this. And that's who's doing that, all these orbs. And there are zillions and zillions and zillions and zillions and zillions of them inside that very structure, and then there are even more of them in our atmosphere, on the ground, in the water, and all through the air, on everything, everyone, and on every living thing other than people as well. So you want Big Brother? Here he is. Look how bright he is. And they are bright. To do all this, it takes brains. Really bright. Okay, I'm at 1 hour. Thank you for watching my video. I'm cutting it off.